that I considered purchasing because of its MRI capability. Here was the problem. They were charging. Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Thomas Hughes, and for today's topic, we're going to talk about Nexstim TMS. Let's get to it. As per usual with these videos, let's start off with the coil. It is a standard flat figure 8 coil like we talked about before. And what it essentially means is that the magnetic pulses are focused towards the center of the coil. Also, very important here in regards to this coil, I want to show you something that we have not seen before with these videos or with these coils yet. You see these silver orbs? And do you see this thing on this guy's forehead? That's called a head tracker. The head tracker and the orbs on the coil work together so that you know where the treatment location is and where you're delivering the pulses. The other TMS machines will use measurements of the head, caps, and anatomical landmarks. So far throughout my career, I have found that using head trackers is the most accurate and precise way to administer treatment. And the reason why I say that is because I can see if the head ever moves out of place while administering treatment. And I can assure you, people will move their head during treatment, whether it be to sneeze, whether it be to cough, stretch their neck, maybe they get startled for whatever reason. Now, the key to making this work is putting the camera in place and getting both the head tracker and the coil within frame. Now, once you do that, the computer can tell how close or how far away you are from the treatment location to increase consistency and accuracy from treatment to treatment. Now, this is very important, especially if you're going to use a tech, because how the doctor or different techs place the coil might be different from treatment to treatment. By using the head trackers, the treatment location and the orientation of the coil tends to be pretty consistent.
This is your opinion?
It's a fact.
Now let's switch gears and talk about the interface. I did get an opportunity to use the Nexstim device and place the coil while I was at the annual meeting this year. And what I will say is that the Nexstim is actually very smooth and easy to move around. If you combine that smoothness with the fantastic interface, it is a really fun machine to use. The interface is very important to what Nexstim does. Their claim to fame for this machine has always been the way they use MRIs to administer treatment. A lot of that work and a lot of the decision making with finding the treatment location depends on what you see on the screen.
DLPFC using our software, so identify the middle frontal gyrus, break it into thirds based off of the clinical paper, and identify the DLPFC in the first third.
So far we have covered some of the basics of the Nexstim machine. Now I want to talk about if it's worth it to purchase one. Now, of course, I can't answer that question for you, but I can tell you a few things to think about if you are considering buying a Nexstim. First thing, going back to the coil, a question to ask will be in regards to durability. I can tell you that you can absolutely do back-to-back sessions with this machine. The question will be, how many back-to-back sessions? As I don't own a Nexstim, I can only tell you that colleagues that I've met over the years have not complained about the coil overheating. It's been on the market for a long time, and this is not something that I've heard of being a problem. But still, you should ask. Next, if you remember those head trackers that I mentioned earlier in this video, in 2023, I was looking to buy a new machine. At the time, Nexstim was one of the machines that I had considered purchasing because of its MRI capability. Here was the problem. They were charging $30 a head tracker, and for me, that just wasn't feasible. My practice accepts insurance, and insurance is not going to adjust how much they reimburse you because the machine that you purchase charges X amount of dollars per session. $30 doesn't seem like a lot up front, but once you consider multiple sessions over time, it adds up. And I'm very happy to announce that as of this year, or maybe even early next year, Nexstim does not plan on charging per head tracker, which is a major improvement for the company and for the providers that plan on buying one of their machines. So before, you would have to purchase a new head tracker for every treatment that you administered, but now it sounds like you would be able to use just one head tracker for all future treatments. Next is another discussion about the MRI again. Back in 2023 and 2024, one of the issues that I had when I was considering Nexstim was whether or not you could map or treat without an MRI. The fact is, some patients have claustrophobia. Some don't want to spend the money. some patients might have issues traveling to and from the imaging center. Whatever the issue might have been, I just wanted the option to treat and to map without the patients having to get an MRI. At the time, that wasn't possible with the Nexstim, but again, as of this year or early next year, that is also a change that they're making. With this new update to the device, you can map and treat without the patient getting an MRI. I would like to say congratulations to Nexstim for making that decision. It's something that I support, but again, I would ask Nexstim about those changes and when they're expected to be officially made to their machines. In terms of pricing, it is one of the more expensive machines on the market. In my opinion though, you are getting bells and whistles that might justify the cost for you in your practice. Patients want to customize the treatment as much as possible. And what I've noticed, patients that can get an MRI, get the MRI. And doctors that can use an MRI with their machine, use the MRI.
It's all making sense.
Do with that information what you will. All things being considered, I am a big fan of the Nexstim product. I think the MRI capabilities justify the price point. I also think the interface and how smooth the coil is able to be moved make it something that you should consider if you're looking for a new TMS machine. For now, we are going to switch gears and I'm going to show you very briefly the mapping process and hopefully show off the interface as best I can.
Good.
So our system uses a fully integrated EMG system to detect the muscle response.
Okay, so some of the TMS machines use an EMG or electromyography to detect muscle movement. Nexstim is one of those devices. It's fully integrated. So it looks like they find the motor hotspot by comparing the different amplitudes of all the different stimulations that they get. And once they find the motor hotspot, they return back to that location and adjust the tilt and rotation of the coil.
You have to be within 2 millimeters of accuracy for the device to proceed. So once everything is green, I take my foot pedal and I deliver a pulse, and I'll do that every 3 seconds.
Okay.
The EMG will record the muscle response, and based off of the muscle response, it will decide if it needs more intensity or less.
Okay. They use that location to identify the treatment location on the left dorsolateral prefrontal cortex.
The middle frontal gyrus, break it into thirds based off of the clinical paper, and identify the DLPFC in the first third. So then we decide the next target is the DLPFC. So using a guide to place that reference pulse, which would be the pulse, the stimulus point that your technician would return to for every single treatment.
All right, folks, that is the end of today's video. I hope this information was helpful. If you are interested in purchasing a Nexstim, I will put their website down in the video description below. If you want to learn more about Nexstim or maybe just TMS in general, feel free to subscribe to this channel. Otherwise, that's all I have for today. Thank you for joining me. Take care.